make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough.
Basically, this is the beginning of the video of me starting the setup job on the Kramer. We won't go too far into it. I believe right here I'm doing an intonation check. So I just basically brought this guitar in, and he wanted it to basically be put in, playable condition. It had sat a long time, and he wanted to get it set up nice and easy, so that if a kid that couldn't afford a guitar but wanted to get into it could come to the shop and play and learn how to play guitar without having to buy one. He could loan it, take it out on loan, and use it through the shop. So that is the Kramer. We'll move on to another guitar I recently have been working on. And right here you'll see that I have a 12-string acoustic guitar on my bench. It is a Alvarez, probably early 90s. I think it's a 91 12-string acoustic. The owner wanted me to get better tuner pegs for it, because what was on it were basically opened gear tuners that just were not holding tune at all. And so with these, I had to ream out the holes so that they would fit the new tuners. Reaming out tuning peg holes, usually on a 6-string, pretty easy. On the 12-string, it's a bit more challenging, but I'll fast forward a little bit into this upgrade and setup just to show you a small amount. Like I said, this video is going to cover a few of my jobs in small clips. I will post videos at a later date that have basically from start to finish on these guitars. Right here we have a Gibson Firebird um, that the owner of the shop I work at as a luthier gave to me to run over and set up and do some small amount of fretwork. And right here you can see that I am checking the amount of relief. It looks like I'm checking the amount of the relief on the truss rod itself by cabling off the first fret and pinching off and fretting the 17th note while sticking in what appears to be my 10,000ths of an inch feather gauge between the 7th and 9th frets to see how much space we've got. I believe it was pretty much up to specs with Gibson's factory specs, maybe even a little smaller, but there's nothing wrong with that, especially when you're getting ready to possibly do any fretwork. You want to get the neck straight. I didn't do a full fret level and dress. I just basically did from the 17th fret to the highest fret and did the fall away. I guess the first one was the 10 and this is the 12 to see if the 12 fits, and I think the 12 was too big, so and usually the next process is to try and check the height of your nut slots by cabling the 3rd fret and just checking how much distance there is. Yeah, cable the 3rd fret and see if you can push down on the strings and they're not touching the 1st fret. That's good. But you only want about I'd say anywhere between 0.25 millimeters to 0.4 or 5 millimeters. I think 0.3 millimeters is about where you would want the height between the bottoms of the string and the top of the 1st fret for the nut slots. And right here I'm measuring the action for the 6th string, which is the low E, at the 12th fret, which on Gibson I believe their factory spec is to have 4/64ths of height from the top of the 12th fret and the bottom of the low E string. And then for the high E string, Gibson's factory specs say that you should have 3/64ths of height between the top of the 12th fret and the bottom of the high E. But yeah, this was a killer guitar to work on. It didn't have hardly anything wrong with it. Pretty much I added some padding under the pickups and set up the fall away and then the intonation and as well as the rest of the guitar. So we'll come back to this later in another video. Right here I have a Fender Stratocaster neck of a buddy of mine, Scott's. It was refretted by the previous owner, and so it was brought in to do a fret leveling, dressing, and polishing job, and in the middle of that job, the clear coat of finish kind of like just wiped off extremely easily, so I offered to refinish the entire neck, which has taken some time, but you can see right here, these are tack cloths, which you can buy at your local hardware store. I got mine at Ace Hardware. You can buy them one at a time for, I think, between $3 and $4 a cloth, or you can buy, I think maybe 4 to 6 in a package for a little bit more. I like to save them though. You just basically go over them to get rid of any kind of loose dust or hair that might be on them. They're made to be kind of sticky and tacky with beeswax, so they do leave a sticky residue if you really cake them on there, which I wouldn't recommend doing. And as you can see here, I'm putting it back into the original thing it came in and into a Ziploc bag where I seal it and keep it nice and tight. And then before using, you always want to shake up. This is a can of Minwax Satin Clear Poly. Popping it open with a screwdriver, and I believe I used what looks to be a small folded up napkin or paper towel to apply. Since this video, I've learned that using an artist brush works much better, but I will go ahead and let you see some of the application real quick before I end this video. Like I said, I have much more footage for all the work I've done on these guitars, plus more coming. I just wanted to basically make a video showing a little bit of a few guitars I've worked on, so that I have something, some sort of content on the Humble Luthier business page. And you can also see that I have each fret individually taped off, which did help, but also actually kind of made things harder in the long run. I will explain that later. And then to jump ahead a little bit, I'm basically going back over the fretboard, over a couple of the frets that needed a little bit of extra poly, and then with the headstock, I had basically sanded off everything, including the original logo, so I was able to get my hands on a logo that looked almost exactly like the one that was on it. And the owner and I the owner decided he just wanted it to say Fender Stratocaster instead of putting the Made in Mexico underneath and the serial number. I was trying to save the serial number as well as I could, but in order to get a nice level finish, it just wouldn't have worked. So I'm either going to be stamping that, writing it, or maybe making a sticker to put on the inside of the heel of the neck. So as you can see though, that Minwax Satin Poly, it really turns out looking really nice. Once it dries, it almost could be just left the way it is. You get very little rag marks or brush marks. It's easy to buff out with steel wool. But of course I will go into more depth when I get to the video for that. So, once again, this has been the intro video for the Humble Luthier's YouTube channel. I'm almost done with my website. So basically, it is up and running. Of course, there is some stuff that is not completely finished, but it does basically look finished. So www.thehumbleluthier.com. I also have Instagram, which is humble.luthier, and you can visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/thehumbleluthier. Give us a like, and if you have any questions, all the information to contact us, or me rather, would be on the website or Facebook, or if you prefer to send me an email, the email is thehumbleluthier@gmail.com. But you can find my phone number on the various pages. So you guys have a wonderful week, and I will try and have a full video up for probably the Kramer or the Firebird next week for you guys to check out. So until then, I will catch you later.